So on today's episode of Epilepsy Fighter, I've got a previous guest with me who is also coincidentally my partner by the name of Stuart. And we're just going to be talking about his epilepsy and how it has improved during the lockdown. And he's going to talk about whether there's been, due to the lockdown, whether it's caused him to have more seizures, if the stress of the lockdown has caused him or has caused the doctors to increase his medication, and just in general how his epilepsy has been during the pandemic. So thank you, Stuart, for coming onto my podcast.
Yeah, thanks very much again. Always a pleasure.
So for people that don't know, can you explain briefly what kind of epilepsy you've got?
Yeah, I've got a type of epilepsy called tonic-clonic epilepsy. My case, it affects the left side of my brain, which in doing so it affects the right side of my body. I had brain surgery about 10 years ago, coming up for 10 years ago. They removed some of my temporal lobe, my left temporal lobe, and then that helped severely. But I still do have the odd seizure rather than have what they call, you've got petit mal and grand mal seizures. So I used to take like 5 petit mals. That's the small seizures a day, give or take. And then I'd have a few grand mal seizures a year, especially up to give or take about the age of 10, 11. And then after that, I was just always petit mals. So after the groundbreaking surgery 10 years ago, it's just been the odd few petit mals a year or so. So it's dramatically helped my case, and I can get on with life. I'm much more at ease, more confident, things like that. I can live better. So I get with my tonic-clonic seizures, I get a tingling sensation, what they call a churn in my stomach, and I get a tension in my right arm, my right leg. Sometimes it goes into a taste in my mouth and my eyes twitching, sore head by that point, etc., etc. So it can be pretty scary, but I suppose it can be scary now and again for myself, but in a nutshell, I'm actually really used to it because I was as good as born with epilepsy and I've dealt with it all my life. So yeah, but if anyone else was just newly diagnosed, yes, it is scary. Yeah.
So, in terms of your epilepsy and your seizures, have you noticed that it's affected you during the lockdown?
I think maybe a little. I mean, as I said, because my seizures have been calmed down due to the surgery. I've had a few seizures here and there. Like I had one, I don't know, like last week or so. And then like before that was maybe a few months ago. So, but lockdown wise, again, I'm not too sure. It's because I'm a key worker. I work in a superstore, so it's not like I've been cocooned at home and then tense of whatever happens with everything just in a flicker. But I do think there's a sense of the community's tension and like all that kind of thing when it comes to everyone's over paranoid about whether they're over paranoid or whatever it is about the pandemic, or their people are just in the superstore trying to grab as much as they can in case things go out of stock and just or whatever. Yeah, it's the overall tension. It's just mixed tensions. I think maybe that vibe just sets off seizures now and again. So sometimes it just takes me to just take a step back and get away from things, and then get back to it.
So in terms of your medication, again, during the pandemic, have you noticed that it has had to increase, or has it stayed the same?
Yes, there was one time I had a small cluster of seizures, and I phoned up the doctor, and I wasn't expecting them to offer to put up my meds, but that's what he did. So I said, okay, I gave it a go, because my medication's been stable for a good, I don't know, again, maybe 5 years or something, even a wee bit more. It's the dosages of the medications been up and down now and again, but it's usually pretty much came to the point where it stayed the same. So that I wasn't actually expecting that, but so I gave this extra wee nighttime dosage boost a go, but I think in hindsight it didn't really do much difference. So yeah, may as well just sort of say it's give or take been the same. I mean, fair enough, I was taking the extra meds as prescribed, but I didn't notice much difference or any difference at all. Yeah, I think it was just a matter of mindset rather than the medication for the seizures.
So, so you're saying that like during this pandemic, your epilepsy has basically stayed the same
Pretty, yeah,
apart
pretty,
apart from that time that you had like a cluster of
yeah. Apart from that, again, which can be not give or take, given the distance that the distance in time that I last had a wee cluster. I was half expecting it to happen anyway. So yeah, I think when pandemic or not, that was expected, and I was yeah. So my health has stayed the same as it can be, given the way things have turned out.
And so in terms of like your mental health, has that affected your seizures in any way?
Again, no, I don't think so. Because I mean, anytime I do take a seizure, it's within like a few months apart from each other. So again, that's expected. And then again, if sometimes it's weather permitted. If it gets a bit too cold or whatever, then I might have a wee seizure. But the again, because I meditate and I do I do some mindfulness where I can to help the epileptic brain calm down, and so it doesn't overwork itself. So I mean, think of it, the way it's best described as the brain is pretty much like a computer, or which in yeah, form it is. So when a computer overworks, it crashes. So when the brain overworks, it gets heated up, and so in my case, it makes me convulse. It might make someone else have a stroke or something else, and I take seizures. So when I overdo things, whether it's overthinking, over multitasking, whatever it is, then yeah, fair enough. I'll just kind of I'll just have to just take my deep breaths, calm down. Yeah, doing what just calm down instead of getting overworked.
So, has there been any people or any thing, like, has there been any positive contribution to your life during the last year or 2 years or whatever
Well,
that has made the seizures less?
I think actually, like, well, I mean, when it's say for example, there's something else going on, like, not really putting a timescale on this one, but it's when it comes to being something new in your life, where it's a new job, a new kind of, say, I would call it just a new mission, a new thing going on, a new mission. So whether you're on a new goal, you're driven about something, whether it's a job, a project, a relationship, that's the kind of times when well, I think in general, with anyone, epileptic or not, you become more, as I say, you become more driven and you're happier. So if you're happier, your mental state's better. So giving the time that we were chatting at first and meeting up, etc. Yeah, that was the goal. And then because of what we've got together, we've got we do the recordings together and things like that. We 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 gel really well. So in that respect, yeah, it's good. Um, and then we've because as a couple we are we're not, that's how we gel well. We're not. It's not as if we don't have anything in common and we're telling each other to go away, you know, that kind of thing. We understand each other, and then, okay, should someone need a bit of space, we'll say, and then 5-10 minutes later, there we go. We're all good again. I mean, whether it's a personal thing or whether it's just someone else, whether it's between us or whether it's a personal thing on the one side. But yeah, yeah. So and when I've been coming down to see you, it's a new atmosphere. It's calmer. It's better than where I am at the moment. Yeah, it's just it's that kind of thing. Is atmospherical differences. Yeah.
So from what I can hear, you're saying that like a positive change of scenery
Yeah, that's it.
does make your epilepsy that much better.
Yeah. I mean, whether it's down your area or whether it's back in, I think it was 1999, if I'm right. I went to Florida for 3 weeks, if I'm right. And again, there was not one time that I took a seizure over there. So that was way before I actually had the surgery. And then for 3 weeks, that was a big thing. I was thinking, what's going on here? I didn't quite understand it. But then after that, when I came back, the doctors did say that, yeah, sometimes it just takes a different atmosphere, where it's more heat, more sun, whatever, or just a general atmosphere in whatever respect, for for the seizures to become. So yeah, I loved it when I was abroad, and it was, yes, it was a lot of goings on. We were just always on the go, etc. But I think it was more due to, yeah, just the heat, the the general weather. And then I think I mean, because I'm from the west of Scotland, and it's the majority of the time it is somewhat miserable, cold, and I mean, it's not always, but um, it, I mean, I think it's meant to be the worst place in Britain, or Scotland anyway. So that's how bad it is. Okay, yes, we're used to it, but when you go down to a nice place in England, for example, I mean, your area, nice, and the majority of the time it's all sunny, and it's the climate, the general climate is much more warmer. Yeah, those couple of degrees make all the difference, and then the people are happier. Again, that's a positive attitude. Whereas here, it's for whatever reasons, it's just people are. I tend to always primarily notice people are a lot more people are just down and out, grumpy, or whatever it is, whatever's going on. So it's just the demographics, I guess, demographics and geographics. Yeah, and that just makes all change.
So for anyone that is newly been diagnosed with epilepsy, or for anyone that is struggling to come to terms with their epilepsy, what would your advice be to them?
I would say try and get as much knowledge about epilepsy as possible, and primarily the type of epilepsy you've got, whether it's tonic, clonic, myoclonic, etc., whatever they are. There's many types out there, and within that, I mean, yes, I'm clonic, but there's every case of tonic, clonic is different. Every case of myoclonic and tonic is different. So you can't just say, okay, you've got tonic, clonic. That's what all tonic, clonic patients are like. Absolutely not. So my advice would be speak to your GP or your epilepsy specialist or both, and see what he or she says, see what's best for you. If they say something about whether it is moving to a different climate, or just like taking on the ketogenic diet, that's one of them as well. Or I mean, the primary things you probably say is, okay, which I agree on: don't smoke, don't drink a lot or any. I mean, I think again, maybe I think that's the reason why I don't smoke. I took that in, and then I wasn't one to actually wanting to smoke anyway. So so that eliminates that. And then, okay, there's a lot of people out there who might try other techniques. That's fine, but just try things out and see what's best for you. Like, you only know, it's only you that knows your body best. Yes, you need help from the specialists, but yeah, do what you think's right, and where you see a good change, try and stick to that and take it into your daily lives. For example, for myself, I find meditation and a bit of yoga good for me, and not eating junk food, and not drinking. I don't smoke, so that's what I do. And, like, I have my therapy of playing my guitar, singing, writing. So yeah, just find out whatever things are good for yourself and take it from there. If you hit a glitch, go back or maybe try something different. Take a deep breath and go back to square one or two. That's it. Yeah. And don't do anything stupid. I think, yeah.
Well, thank you for a quick follow-up on
Thank you.
First. And until next time, bye.
Bye, folks.